is something that's very hard to beat. It's one of those things that you just love about that store. Regardless of whether or not you like Apple products, the experience that you have inside of those stores, I'm sure plays a very good role in the amount of business that they have and the amount of repeat business that they get.
For the rugged. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price for y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Miguel. If this is your first time here on this channel, I like to talk about all things business and self-development related. And on this particular video, I'm going to be doing a book review of a kind of new book. I'm a little late to it because a lot of people have already read this, but I don't have a physical book. I have an audio book right here on my phone. The book is called This Is Marketing by Seth Godin. So if you do not know who Seth Godin is, he is basically a pretty prolific marketer. A lot of people know him. He's written a bunch of really dope books. A couple of them that I can name off the top of my head are Permission Marketing and Purple Cow. And he built this really huge business called Jotunheim that he sold to Yahoo a while back for like 30 million. And now he does a lot of consulting, but for the most part, he does a lot of speaking and he writes a lot of books. And he's basically just one of those guys that everyone looks up to in the marketing space. And he just came out with this new book, This Is Marketing. I just went through it. It was a really good read. And I'm going to talk about the major point that I got from the book, which is brand marketing versus direct marketing. And the reason this is interesting is because I am a direct marketer, and before listening / reading to this book, I would only think about marketing from a direct marketing perspective. As I was listening more to Gary Vee, I heard him talk about brand marketing, but if you watch any of Gary Vee's content, you know that he sort of glosses over things, and if you want to learn from him, you sort of have to watch a lot of his content and basically take little bits and piece it all together for yourself. But listening to this book, I was able to get a very direct understanding of what brand marketing is and how it relates to what it is that I'm doing, so I can have a good understanding of both and being able to do both at the same time in an effective way. So what is direct marketing? Direct marketing is basically a completely measurable process of marketing. It might as well be called online sales. Basically, any action that you take needs to have a measurable result. How much money did you spend in order to acquire that email or get that purchase or get someone to view your content? There's a certain number that should be measured. And in order for you to consider yourself a good direct response marketer, you need to make sure that all of the money that you're putting in is acquiring a return on spend. So for example, I spend $1 on an ad, I should be able to get $2 back. This is a sign of a good direct response marketer. And this is something that you'll see a lot of small businesses doing because it's the only way that they are able to get by. If you're a small business, for example, the ones that I'm working with, then you only have so much money to work with. If you want to start to scale your company through the use of paid ads, paid Facebook ads, Instagram ads, anything like that, then you're going to want to make sure that the dollars that you're spending are actually giving you something back. They're actually being used appropriately. This is direct response marketing, and I highly suggest pretty much everyone learn it. You can go through my channel. All of the videos that I'm talking about on this channel are, for the most part, direct response related. The course that I created that you can find in the link in this description, as well as in the comment section, probably, but definitely in the description, is essentially a direct response marketing course. It's putting up landing pages, getting people to hit that landing page and take an action, whether that be give an email, make a purchase, or whatever it is that you're trying to get them to do. This is literally direct response marketing, and it opens up the door for brand marketing. So what is brand marketing the way that Seth Godin talks about it? Brand marketing is the idea in your customers' heads of your business. So what does he mean by that? What do I mean by that? So he makes an example in this book, and I noticed that he makes this example in a lot of his interviews because I've gone and looked at a few interviews of his after reading this book. And he makes an example of the fact that if Nike were to open up a museum or a movie theater, you would have a pretty good idea of what that museum or movie theater would be like. It would be very sports oriented. It would be very sleek, maybe marble floors. There'd be pictures of athletes most likely. You'd have a pretty good idea of what this place would look like, even though Nike is a shoe and clothing brand. If they were to go ahead and open up a museum, you would have a pretty good expectation of what it would be, and you'd probably be accurate. This is a good reflection on how well they've built up their brand inside of their customers' minds. So that's the first thing that he talks about when it comes to brand is what is the perception that you're giving your customers, and when they start to interact with your business, are you purposefully creating a perception inside of their mind so every single thing that you create, they know what to expect from your products and your services. That's branding in that sense. The other sense that he was talking about in terms of branding is how do your customers feel about your brand. So that's branding in and of itself, and this comes down to customer service and basically just overall customer experience. And I did this on accident, not knowing that it was a branding play. I was just doing it because I wanted the customers who were coming into one of my clients' businesses to have a better experience. The emails that were coming in weren't actually being responded to in the most prompt manner. And not only that, we weren't like following up with customers on whether or not they were enjoying what it is that they were going through. So I put systems in place where the customers who would buy something would get an email 7 days later asking them how they felt about the program that they bought or the product that they bought. And I would also make sure to send emails to new people coming onto the email list and asking them where they were at in their journey, so I can make sure that I provide them with content that is specific to them. And I noticed that the second that I put that, it was just an overwhelming response rate of gratitude. People were so grateful that this business was taking the time to get to know them way better and make sure that they were doing all right and check up on them. And the fact that I put a person in place to respond to all of these people, it was just even more. So I'm thinking, all right, cool. So now the likelihood of them buying more stuff in the future is probably going to be good. I was just thinking it in terms of like a hospitality thing, but apparently, according to Seth Godin, according to this book, This is Marketing, I was doing brand marketing in this case. So brand marketing is the experience that the customers have. Apple is a good example of this. When you go into an Apple store, the whole Genius Bar setup, the fact that you sort of like apply on a computer to get in line, the experience inside of an Apple store is something that's very hard to beat. It's one of those things that you just love about that store. Regardless of whether or not you like Apple products, the experience that you have inside of those stores, I'm sure plays a very good role in the amount of business that they have and the amount of repeat business that they get. So that is another aspect of brand marketing. The last part that I would like to bring up in this book is that he mentions that a lot of people spend a lot of time on logos and assuming that when they are picking their logo, that is them branding themselves. And in a sense it is. This is me quoting Seth Godin right now. In a sense it is, but there are a lot of companies that do not have a logo who are doing perfectly fine. Google, for example. If there are companies who are doing perfectly fine without a logo, does that mean that you need one? The answer is no, but he also makes a caveat saying that if your logo can basically play the role in being the shorthand of basically reminding people of your brand and letting them know basically what to expect from the piece of clothing that they're looking at, or the service that they're thinking of getting, or the program that they're thinking of getting, if that logo immediately sparks up an idea in their mind of what your brand represents, then yes, go ahead and get a logo. But the starting point for brand marketing is going to be all that stuff before that, which is customer experience and what your brand represents, what you want it to represent. And you can do that multiple ways, but the majority of ways is going to be making sure that you're getting your customer results in whatever area it is that you care about. But the stuff that comes before that is going to be making sure that the customers are getting the results that they are expecting in a timely manner and in a professional manner, and making sure that they are actually quality results, and making sure that the customer has a top-notch experience that makes them want to tell their friends. So this is Marketing is an extremely good book. I highly suggest you get it if you are unfamiliar with direct marketing or brand marketing. Even if you are familiar with it, it is a good refresher. So I'd highly suggest you pick this book up. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you got any value, if you learned anything, I ask that you hit that like button, subscribe, and if there's anything you would like to learn out of this channel, go ahead and leave a comment below and ask a question. I'll always look at them. I read every single comment, and if I get good questions, I answer them in the video. So once again, thank you for watching, and until next time, peace.